So yesterday I did a test print for Siraya flexible resin in their tenacious gray. Now, I was surprised by the lack of flexibility for the parts I printed. However, going back and looking at it, turns out I actually used the incorrect print settings for the resin. I used the settings that they recommend for their clear and obsidian black, but I didn't use the settings for their tenacious gray. So I've gone back and I'm starting a new print in the correct settings. In addition to that, I followed my own post-print process for washing and curing. But this time I'm going to look at what Siraya recommends and follow it as closely as I possibly can. Hopefully this way we get the results that they advertise for their resin. Okay, so this time I followed all of the specifications as closely as I could. I gotta say, I can already tell that these parts printed differently than the last time. However, will they hold up to the same tests from my last video? All right, so for the first test, we're going to take a look at the flexibility. Now, when I said I could already tell that these parts printed differently, I noticed when I was removing the supports, they came off a lot easier. And the part flexed a little bit during that process. And this time I'm going to try to get a better angle as to how much flex we're giving it. So I would say that's a lot better than last time. I feel like if I keep going, it will eventually break. And as you can see, it holds the shape from that bend. But this is immensely different. There is some stress marks starting to form, but this is way better. And of course, it's getting easier to flex and bend the more I bend it. I'm sure if I go back and forth, it'll eventually just break, or if I push it past its limit. But a huge, huge difference compared to my last video. Next, the drop test. Now you can see this really, really thin part here between all these joints. This is the same exact model that I used in yesterday's video. So let's see if it can survive an impact. Okay, so I'm opting for a slightly different angle this time. The camera is angled down at about 4 feet off the ground, and I'll be holding the piece out and dropping it from about the height where the camera is now. What a difference. It survived the impact, no problem. I even dropped it at the same angle, which was to try to put all of the impact on one of these front wheels here. Let's go ahead and drop it again and see if it survives. What a difference the correct print settings make. Okay guys, I don't know about you, but I'm thoroughly impressed with the Siraya flexible resin. The flexibility and impact resistance far surpass what I imagined. I want to take a minute to thank Chaos Ghoul for pointing out that following the proper wash and cure procedure is extremely important when it comes to resin printing. As you can see, it made a world of difference in the results comparing this video to the last. Once again, I'll be putting a link to this filament in the description, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later.